Good morning, everyone. Let's start with this simple question. How many of you have ever felt like you are speaking a completely different language than someone you needed to work with? Perhaps it was a technical expert when you are pitching a business idea, or a marketing lead when you are deep in the code. Anyone? Okay, there you go. Thank you. So that feeling of disconnect is the gap we're going to explore today. So today, I want to talk about the crucial intersection of two worlds, business and technology. We often treat them as separate domains, but in today's rapidly evolving landscape, that separation is an illusion, a dangerous one. For startups especially, bridging this gap isn't just nice to have, but an essential requirement for survival and scaling. So why is this synergy so vital? Because when engineers understand the why behind the business, customer needs, market opportunities, overall strategy, they become proactive drivers of innovation. They don't just execute tasks, they anticipate challenges, propose creative solutions, and build products that can make a real difference for the market. So likewise, when business leaders grasp the potential and the limitations of technologies, they can make informed decisions, prioritize effectively, and avoid costly missteps. So I've seen this myself, the incredible value of engineers with a strong business understanding. They are not just employees, they are strategic partners. So let me tell you a story about a terrible report. A report that taught me a crucial lesson that shaped my entire career. So when I started as a junior programmer at a bank, a senior FX trader asked me for a list of today's trades, my very first task as a programmer. So I was so excited and eager to please. I went back to my desk, queried a transaction database, and printed the result. And I proudly passed him the report, which is like this. Excuse me, why are you laughing? Trade ID is the unique identifier of the transactional database, which is the most critical piece of information from my technical perspectives. But of course, his reaction was like he froze for 5 seconds and said, "Oh, this is not what I wanted." Obviously, I completely missed his underlying need. And also, he didn't know what I didn't know. So that phrase, "this is not what I wanted," has been a constant reminder of the importance of understanding the underlying need. It's a perfect example of the frustration that comes up when these two words are on different pages. And bridging this gap isn't about more communications, it's about better communication, built on the foundation of shared understanding. Writing hundreds of pages of requirements documents, endless Q&A sessions often lead to the same frustrating outcome. Yes, you delivered what I wrote in my requirement document, but this is not what I wanted. And here's another example that is from M-DAQ, where our vision is to create a world without currency borders. A truly ambitious goal championed by my friend and founder CEO, Richard Cole, the guy standing in the middle in that picture. So turning this grand vision into impactful product has been a long and a complex journey. I recall a brainstorming session for a new product. Our CEO, the brilliant visionary, was passionately describing his concept, and engineers listened eagerly. But soon, their faces reflected a growing confusion. When they started explaining the technical complexities, the executive's eyes glazed over. It was like watching two separate conversations in different languages. It hit me then. It didn't matter how groundbreaking the idea or how cutting edge the technology. If these two groups couldn't connect, we were stuck. And encouraging more communication wasn't the solution. They were already talking. So my role as CTO was to be the bridge builder and, more importantly, to narrow the gap itself. So the key was to expand a small area of shared understanding between the business and technology. And it worked. So here are the two core principles that drove this transformation. So number one, invest in practical education. And this was about building a baseline understanding of the other side, not your side. We utilized not only training courses, industrial meetups, but most importantly, internal knowledge sharing sessions among various groups constantly. And the goal was to take the mystery out of the other side. And number two, foster a culture of curiosity and a psychological safety. And this was absolutely crucial, especially within our Asian cultural context, where hesitation to ask basic questions in public is common. We actively built an environment where any question was welcome, no matter how simple it seemed. And as a leader, I made it to a point to ask those seemingly silly questions myself, breaking down the usual top-down structure and demonstrating that learning is continuous. And casual settings were key. So we built a large open kitchen space at M-DAQ office. And this was an intentional design to foster informal gatherings and interactions. People cooked together, shared meals, enjoyed Friday night drinks. And we organized sushi making lessons and invited a colleague's mother to learn how to make kimchi. Fun and team building activities. But these were not just for fun. These activities served as strategic opportunities to build closer relationships, break down barriers, and encourage cross-learning in relaxing circumstances. So these were a cornerstone of our culture of curiosity. So this approach, narrowing down the gap through constant cross-learning and a culture of curiosity, transformed our operations. Because people had a stronger foundational understanding, conversations became far more productive. So basically, we shifted from explaining from my side to your side to collaborating on shared goals empowered by that shared knowledge. The result? Faster innovation cycle, more effective solutions, and the united team moving forward with the clear shared understanding and purpose. So, and then company became profitable. As I conclude our time together here at the Founders Peak, I want to leave you with this powerful thought. The most successful ventures, the most impactful innovations don't emerge from isolated brilliance. They are born from the deep shared understanding between those who envision the future and those who build it. The distance between a groundbreaking idea and an innovative product is often measured not in lines of code or dollars of investment, but in the deep shared understanding between the business and the technology worlds of the equation. So when these two truly appreciate and understand each other, that's where the magic happens. So How big is that gap in your world? And what is one small step you can take starting today to begin to narrow it and create the culture of curiosity? The answers to those questions might be the key to unlocking your next breakthrough. Thank you very much.